celebrating our connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever it is. Hal Abrams with you, Judy Francis screening your calls. For animal communicator Joy Turner, dog father Joey Villani, dog trainer Alan Cable, or Dr. Debbie. If this is your first week, well, welcome. Let's see. Big show today. Anne Worley joins us for the Season of Stars. Stacy, what's going on in your world?
You probably think, like everybody does, your dog's pretty well behaved. It's a good dog until he sees the postman. And then he goes like crazy, or the FedEx guy, or any delivery guy. Well, there's a reason why they do this. It's in their feet. I'll tell you about it coming up on Animal Radio News.
Joey Villani, what are you working on today?
We're going to talk about how to vibrate your color. Vibrate your color, huh? You guys got me, it's the whole train of thought today in the studio. We're going to teach people how to get their dog's color very vibrant, okay? Not vibrate your color. Get your color. Oh, God, I can't speak today, Hal. I'm sorry. I'm having problems with the mic, the headset's falling off, my glasses. It's one of those days.
That's the first time I've ever actually seen you in glasses. Are those brand new?
I had a problem with contacts. No, I had a contact problem when I did that. I did an event in Canada a couple of weeks ago, and I almost went blind, literally. And it was, since then, I can't put my contacts in. But I haven't gone to the eye doctor yet, so maybe I should do that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Should we answer some calls?
Yes,
what
please.
Do you see?
Somebody save us.
You can also catch us at yourvoice@animalradio.com. Send us your questions. Or on Facebook, you can email your questions or Facebook us at Animal Radio, or even tweet us at Animal Radio. And don't forget the Animal Radio app. If there's not a radio station where you are, or XM Satellite Radio, the Animal Radio app for iPhone or Android. And let's take a call for, what do you say, Alan?
Let's do it.
Which one?
I'm game, man.
Are you game?
I'm game. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Line 3.
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Oh, splitting atoms. Where are you calling from today?
Calling from New Mexico.
What's going on with you?
Well, I drive a truck, and, I see all these truck drivers out here with dogs on the road with them, and I was wanting to get your guys' maybe possibly better educated opinions about what you guys think about that. Is it good for the dog to be in the truck and on the road? Is it not? And if it is, what's the best breed you guys think for the truck?
That's a good question, Mike. Hey, Mike, why do you want a dog? Is it because you're a dog lover, or because you see all the other guys doing it and you want to do it too?
No. I've grown up around dogs all my life. I love them. My mom, she owns a grooming shop in New Mexico, has for 15 years. Just been raised around dogs all my life, and just, I'm out here on my own, and just be kind of cool to have a buddy with me, I guess.
Absolutely. Now, do you want a puppy, or do you want to get a dog that's already an adult?
Well, again, I'm not sure. I mean, I've always, my family, when we've gotten a dog, it's always been from a puppy. That way they grow up and you train them and they're with you. And that's just kind of how we've always done it. So, I mean, a puppy would be great, but I guess it'd be really hard to, at the very least, hard to housebreak them going down the road. Well, you can't properly do that, I would think, driving all the time.
Actually, you can, as long as you got the time. I mean, the best part about having a dog with you when you're in the truck is, dogs are pack animals. You're the pack leader, and the dog always gets to be with the pack leader, which is awesome for the dog. And I'm surprised more truckers don't have dogs. That's exciting for a dog, and it's exciting for you too. And the only thing you have to worry about is that with a puppy, you got to stop every 2-3 hours to let a puppy go to the bathroom, because they have to go frequently. But once the dog grows up, you don't have to do that. Now, if you can pull over every 2-3 hours and take the dog for a potty break, it's going to be real easy to potty train that dog. Very simple. He'll never have a chance to need to go without you already addressing the issue. So he will get trained very quickly to understand that you're going to stop every couple hours and let him go to the bathroom. As far as a calm dog, a dog that can sit still for a long period of time, believe it or not, greyhounds are awesome dogs. They're very cool and mellow. They don't need a lot of exercise. Basset hounds are like that. But if you want a dog that's like a lab, or you want a bigger dog, or any dog, the trick is to observe the puppies. If you can find somebody who's got a litter of puppies and just watch them, you're going to see which ones are rambunctious and goofy and crazy and energetic. And there's always a couple that like to lay around a lot. And believe it or not, when they get older, that pretty much transfers. They don't change. If a dog is mellow as a puppy, he's going to be mellow as an adult. And if he's a crazy lunatic, I want to play lots of energy dog, when he gets bigger, he's going to be the same up until he's about about 4 or 5 years old, and then he'll start to mellow out a little bit. So it's all in the observation of you finding puppies and watching them for a couple of hours, and you'll be able to see which ones are mellowed out.
Well, I had an old English bulldog on the truck with me years and years ago, and I just, I let her go because I wasn't really sure if, she was happy or not. But I will say, as far as mellow and relaxed, that was the dog to have, because she didn't want to do much other than just lay around on the bed or in the seat or on the floor.
Why weren't you sure she was happy? She was probably ecstatically happy just being around you, buddy.
Well, I was a lot younger at the time, too, and I probably had no business back then having a dog with me. I didn't have the time or the maturity for it, but I'm 32 years old now. That was probably almost 10 years ago, and I just feel I've grown up a little bit and think I could handle it better.
Yeah, you have more wisdom and you're calmer. But think about this. Before you go, a lot of people buy dogs. They go to work all day. The dog is left alone 9-10 hours a day, locked up in an apartment. Which is fairer? You having the dog in your cab, making stops every now and then, playing with the dog. You got to play with your dog at least a half hour a day. But the dog is going to be with you, around people, seeing all kinds of different things, experiencing different smells, but most of all, you're together as a pack, and that's what dogs crave. If a dog had his way, you would never leave. They live in families and packs, and the packs are always together.
Sure. Now, one quick question before I let you go. Your best advice. Now, one thing, I have grown up around my folks who've had dogs all their lives, but as far as the truck goes, maybe it's a little different. What is your best suggestion on, say the dog does have an accident? I know some people use newspapers, some people rub the dog's face in it. I think that's inhumane as all get out, because I wouldn't want my face rubbed in anything like that. But do you have a suggestion or a recommendation as to how to handle an accident? Or
Yes. If the accident is happening right in front of your eyes, you make a quick correction. And a correction is just a strong word like no. And give the dog a little poke, or if the dog is a puppy, say no. And if if you're pulled over, pick the dog up and put him outside immediately. But the trick is if a dog has gone and had an accident, if more than 30 seconds goes by, forget about it. Just clean it up, make believe it never happened, because the dog doesn't even remember that he or she did it. And the other thing is to praise your dog. Whenever your dog goes to the bathroom outside, say, good dog, good dog. And when you catch your dog going to the bathroom inside, you go, bad dog, no. And they learn real quick. But your dog's not going to have an accident, except if it's a puppy and maybe at night if you're sleeping, if you forget. But when a dog is a puppy, if you take the dog out every 3-4 hours, by the time the dog is 5, 6, 7 months old, that dog is going to be potty trained. You're not going to have to worry about accidents. And the other thing to remember is if your dog is house trained and your dog does have an accident or starts having accidents, take your dog to the vet immediately. Make sure there's not a medical problem, because that happens sometimes. Remember, they can't talk, so.
Well, terrific. Thank you so much for taking my call, and that was incredible advice. And
you're awesome.
Based on what you guys said, I think I'll go ahead and look into.
Hey, Mike.
I think you should do it. Yeah.
Hey, Mike, what are you hauling? Before you go, what are you hauling?
Oh, we haul everything. Right now I've got beef, and I'm headed to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we haul furniture and alcohol, beer, and just whatever fits in my trailer.
Hey, if you come out this way, can we load my mother-in-law into your truck in the middle of the night? That sure would help me out
a little. Anything, buddy, anything.
Thanks for your call, Mike. We appreciate it.
All right, man, thank you.
I don't know. I think most truckers have dogs. It seems like a lot of them do. We hear from them all morning long. And if you don't, why not? You're on the road all day long. Little company. They get to get out and see the world.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Hey, it's Vinny Penn coming at you again with another thrilling installment of The Party Animal on Animal Radio. There's something I've been noticing at my house for the last 2 years in a row, last 2 summer into the falls in a row, that I find bizarre. I can't even believe it's taken me this long to put it out there on the Animal Radio airwaves. When I sit out by my pool on the weekends or even during the day, and I'm not exaggerating in the slightest when I say this, there is a squirrel that I like to call Clockwork Squirrel. not like a Clockwork Orange in that, he's murdering anybody. But at the same time, every day, you could set your clock by this squirrel at 1:05 every day. He comes from one side of the yard on the fence, all the way down the fence, jumps from one fence to the other fence, and comes all the way around the other way. Same time, every day, 2 summers in a row. My sister was just over this happened. I heard her on the phone saying to someone on her cell phone out in my backyard, it's just a couple of minutes to 1 right now. I'm going to lay out in the sun for a couple minutes more, and then I'll be by. And I said to her, Laura, watch this. In about 5 minutes, watch your clock. At about 1:05, this squirrel is going to... She thought I had, trained it, or that there was some huge ruse. I don't know what she could have... She's like, how did you know that? How could you know that this squirrel was going to come around? Same time every day, 1:05, 2 summers in a row, the squirrel comes down one side of the fence, hops to the other fence, and goes the other. I say he's visiting a lady friend. I say he's got his nuts in mind, and he's visiting a lady friend. No one else seems to have a reasoning as to, are they that patterned a creature? Is he working? I mean, did Disney have it right? Are these animals doing a little bit of work, punching a clock, whistling while they work? And I don't know what it is, but I can set my clock by the clockwork squirrel. I should actually tail him one time and take a look and see. As a matter of fact, one time I did look to see, and he just disappeared off into the other yard. There's got to be a possum he's got something going on with. I think he's got a little something happening with a possum, and if I look around, I bet you there's a squirsome somewhere. Half squirrel, half possum.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At U.S. Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With U.S. Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
U.S. Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With U.S. Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose U.S. Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. U.S. Med. Better service, better care. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. That's 800-434-5019.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Here's Hal and Judy.
Hi, Andrew. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Where are you calling from today?
Well, I'm in Utah now.
Truck driver?
Yes, I am.
What are you hauling? That's a new question I'm asking.
Well, you be nosy here, Hal.
What's going on in your world?
I've got an Australian cattle dog puppy. She's a year and 3 months.
Okay.
My dad was saying he noticed that she looks like she might be partially blind.
Okay.
I left her at home for a month, and she would be walking with him, stop, and he'd go down to the end of the hall and turn around, and she'd be sitting there sniffing around like she's tracking. But I've really never noticed anything other than at night with her.
What are you noticing at night? What's she doing?
Well, like my buddy, Chris walks up, and he's still in the dark, and she'll see him, and she'll get a defensive posture going, and then as soon as he hits the light close enough, she'll go into happy mode and go run over and get attention.
So I guess the first thing is we need to assess and figure out if your baby is having visual problems. And when you say the breed, I guess the first thing that jumps out in a herding breed, some of the cattle dogs, the collies, there are some types of congenital problems that they can be born with that affects the retina, the back part of the eye. And there's kind of this whole complex of different problems. And some pets will have different degrees of vision problems. Some are completely blind, some have one eye that has a problem, and so on. So I think the first thing we need to do is figure out if we do in fact have a visual problem. And some things at home, some of these tests are kind of crude in the sense that we basically test how the dog responds to things moving, whether it be in light or in darkness. So one of the first things I'd have you do is kind of sit with her, turn the lights on, and have a cotton ball nearby, and basically throw the cotton ball in front of her line of vision and see if she tracks that. We want to use something very lightweight like a cotton ball because it doesn't really send off any kind of air currents when you throw it by. If you use something bigger or you wave your hand, you might send off these air currents. So test that in light and in darkness and see how she responds. That would be one thing. The other would be to actually put her through a maze test in light and in darkness. So you put her on a leash, keep her really tight to your side, and set up some little barriers. And you basically, as horrible as it sounds, you want to guide her towards those things in her midst and see if she can maneuver around them. And if she can see them and avoid them, then it's kind of a crude test of vision there. But for most doggies in this category, especially since she's young, I would recommend to see a veterinarian because we would need to do a good exam of the retina, the back part of the eye.
Okay, there is one thing that I have noticed with looking directly into her eyes is on certain spots, she's got almost like looks almost like a luminescent clear spot. Do you think that could possibly be anything?
I mean, it could be. And the big thing is looking at the size and the shape of her pupils. If in bright light, the normal dog eye response, bright light, would be that the pupils should get small. If her eyes remain dilated, so you can see a lot of that pupil, that may mean that we have some issues going on there. Or if you see an uneven size of those pupils between one eye and the other eye, that would also be a symptom that we've got something going on. And if she's a little visually challenged, most of these doggies can live wonderful lives, and they kind of adapt with all their other senses, especially the nose. The nose helps so much with these guys in getting around and maneuvering. So not a horrible thing for her to have to deal with.
Okay.
Thanks for the call, Andrew. Time of year where a lot of us are getting a new dog. You can't just go and pick the cutest one that's in the box there at the supermarket, can you?
Well, no. And the big thing is a lot of times I'll see pets that people just get because they think I just want a dog, and they don't put a lot of thought into it. So we want to look at not only your lifestyle, but we also want to inspect the health of the pet. This is going to be a lifelong companion. You want to start off on the right foot with behavior and overall health. So for me, it's always about looking at that eye and nose combination. Snotty nosed cats, puppies with boogers in their eyes, that could be a symptom of respiratory infection.
That doesn't mean that they're just messy. It could actually mean there's a health problem.
Yeah, so if you don't want to start off on a foot where you have to deal with a medical problem from the get-go, it's one important thing to look for. But also, me, it's incoming and outgoing evidence. So depending on how the puppy or kitten is eating, watch them eat. Do they tear up the food? Are they eager to eat? As well as when it comes out the backside, and is there any diarrhea, symptoms of illness like that?
Now, do you want a dog or a cat that is eager to eat?
You want one that's eager to eat, that has a strong appetite. Hopefully not one that's going to plow down its litter mates over to do that. But you definitely want to have that strong appetite that makes things easier. And that's a symbol of overall health at that moment in time if they're a good eater. So very important.
How do you test their temperament there?
For puppies, one of the simplest things is turn them over on their back, see how they respond. And we want them to be relaxed. We want them to be submissive. And we don't want a dog that's going to rustle and try to bite you along the way. That just makes training easier. And then you also just want to make sure that they're going to be friendly with people, that they're interactive with people. They want to see the human come up to them and check them out, not just hiding and cowering in a corner.
Boy, these were all signs Ladybug had when I got her.
Whoops. But she turned out okay, didn't she?
Yes, she did. She's a good little puppy.
So you should watch them play, I guess, when they're and how they interact, right?
Yeah, so if they're with cage mates or with their litter mates, you want to see how well they're getting along with each other. You want to see if there's a bully in the group, because I have actually seen puppies at 8 weeks of age that have already demonstrated aggression and dominance behaviors, either with their other litter mates or with the veterinarian at that age. So there are early cues that you can pick up by watching how they observe or how they behave with other people and animals at that time. And then the final thing I'd say is ask for the medical information. If you're going to either a breeder or a person who has a dog and says, hey, I can't take care of it anymore, have they taken care of it? Do we have vaccination histories? Do we have any kind of medical care for the parents that might have been? That means a lot for where that puppy or kitten is starting off at that moment in time.
Okay, and when you find the perfect pet, take a picture on your smartphone and send it to us, or post it over at our Facebook page. We're getting great pictures of some brand new animals. There's a pig, hamster pig up there this week that has a tattoo and everything.
Huh?
I know. I've never seen anything like that, but one of our listeners sent that in. Send your pictures in. We want to see your new addition to your family.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you use insulin or have had hypoglycemic events, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. That's 800-434-5019.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Stacy Cohen for Animal Radio. Is your dog left pod or right pod? Does he go after the mailman? If he does, he's probably left pod. If your otherwise well-behaved dog barks at the mailman, the reason could well be in his feet. Scientists have found that left pod canines are more aggressive toward strangers than their right pod counterparts. They tested dozens of pets with a special toy to find out which side they favored, and then they analyzed their behavior. Well, the left paw is controlled by the right hemisphere of the brain, which other studies have shown is linked to negative emotions, thus going after the mailman. The results mirror those for humans, as research has shown the same is true of people. Some owners of exotic animals say there's a new Ohio law and it's onerous and it infringes on their constitutional rights, and they've asked a federal appeals court to strike it down. The private owners argued in a brief that the law violates the First and the Fifth Amendments by limiting their freedom of association and effectively taking their property by requiring them to implant microchips in their animals at their own expense before they're registered with the state. They also argue that the law includes impossible hurdles that leave owners who want to operate a for-profit business only one option: joining a zoological group that private owners are loath to associate with. The attorney Robert Owens called Ohio permitting requirements a sham, imposing a compliance cost so high that they exceed the value of the animals involved and threatening to financially wipe out those who seek permits. I think this is really stemming from that nut that had all those animals in Ohio in his backyard, and then he went crazy and shot himself and shot half the animals. It's horrible. So I think that was when people realized that, exotic animals needed some type of a law to protect them. Well, ready for this? A town in Spain has found a unique way to encourage dog owners to pick up after their pets. According to Orange News, the council in Brunette recently launched a campaign that involves packaging unscooped droppings and then sending them back to the owners in a box marked lost property. A spokesman for the council explains that they had a team of about 20 volunteers spend a week looking out for irresponsible owners. Well, if they saw somebody who failed to clean up their pup's mess, they'd approach them and then casually try to find out the dog's name. They were then able to use the town's registered pet database to get to the owner's address and return whatever their dog left behind. The volunteers made 147 deliveries during the week-long scheme, and it seemed to work. They reported a 70% drop in unscooped dog poo. That's a scoop. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
Need a fix of the good stuff? Get more Animal Radio with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Don't forget, you can get your fix of Animal Radio anytime you want with the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android. It's made possible by Fear Free, helping your pets live their happiest, healthiest, fullest lives at home, at the vet, and everywhere in between. Visit them at fearfree.com to find care near you.
Hi, this is Ed Begley Jr. on Animal Radio. Live simply so that others may simply live.
Miss Worley?
Hello! Good morning.
Good morning. Joanne Worley joining us. What a cheery little voice.
Well, thank you, Hal, and what a cheery little voice you have.
Yeah, but first of all, I just want people to know that just because I'm familiar with Rowan and Martin, and that's where I know you from, that I'm still 29 years old. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I met a lot of people the first time, was on Rowan and Martin's Laughing, and I am so proud of that. we recently had a kind of reunion back in Connecticut. So we see each other quite often, we Californians. And but there were some people there that I hadn't seen for a while, and it was really wonderful fun.
I have to admit, I used to watch it on a regular basis, too.
I am very involved with Actors and Others for Animals. I'm the president,
you're the VP.
Tell
the listeners a little bit about Actors and Others.
Well, it's kind of a silly name or it is silly when people mess it up. They say Actors and Other Animals or Animals for Actors, that thing. But it came about, Doris Day, years ago on the set, saw a need and was collecting money from the other actors on the set and for animals. And whatever the need was, say it was, a litter of puppies or kittens, something that had to be taken care of. And the people who were behind the camera, the lighting crew, the people who did wardrobe, they all said, I want to contribute, I care. So that's how the word "and others" got into it, Actors and Others for Animals. So anyway, we mainly address spay and neuter because that is the source, as I know you people know all too well, of the problem, which is not enough good homes, for all the available pets. And that's why so many of them have to be put down is a very kind word, isn't it? Destroyed.
Yeah, put to sleep. When they say put to sleep, it sounds so gentle. Put to sleep, because I think of an angelic scene when I think of sleep, but that's not the case. There's 5
with
million...
a lullaby playing in the background and a little nappy blanket, and no, it is so inhumane. The process and the need is what's inhumane. So the best way we feel, and obviously most humane groups feel, is get the spay and neuter in control, and then do whatever we can in all the other areas where there is need, like humane legislation and education, and do whatever we can. But our main thrust is spay and neuter.
Do you have friends at home? Do you have cats or dogs or fish? Or?
Oh, well, I have right now a miniature, not obviously, but I'm sure you would assume a saved miniature Yorkshire Terrier who travels everywhere with me. She is, and that is the reason I only have one, is I can get one in cabin with me. It is against all airplane rules to have two. I know she'd love to have a brother or sister, but we go, she went with me up to the Canine Film Festival. She went with me back to Connecticut and then to Tennessee, and she is a world-class traveler. She's better at it than I am. Does she fit in your purse?
Do you have a purse and she fits in that, or how do you travel with her?
Oh, I travel with her according to the rules of the airline, and each of them is a little different. She travels in a Sherpa, which is an airline-approved bag that goes at my feet in front of me. When I make my reservation, she has her own special reservation, and she has to get a health certificate 10 days before travel. We go to the vet and get that. And she has to be, each airline is different. Sometimes there's only one pet allowed in cabin, and sometimes there are... Usually in first class, it's just one. Wow. And we go first class because it's just easier. There's more room.
So could I run into Joanne Worley at the post office with her little dog in a purse or in tow somehow?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. She has an entire wardrobe of purses that are hers that go on my shoulder, and she goes everywhere with me. As a matter of fact, you're not supposed to take your dog into the post office.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Only service dogs.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you must know that she is a service dog.
Oh, okay.
Her name is Harmony.
Okay.
And she keeps me calm.
She keeps you sane.
And sane, and that is an extremely good thing. So she is really of service to me and other people. So, but she does have her own purses, and I always get the cotton kind because they breathe. And when she wants to, she sleeps in there, or she'll stand up on her hind legs. And I support her with my hand underneath. She's straps her on my shoulder, and she'll stand up with her little head out and go, what's happening here? Anybody need kisses? What needs to go on here?
Do you dress her up?
Oh, no, she doesn't have to do anything other than be the most wonderful doggie in the world. I don't dress her up. I know quite often we do a Christmas card, and she never wears an outfit. I wear the outfit.
Of course.
I wouldn't impose that on her. As a matter of fact, I just tried to get her a new necklace. Not necklace, I'm so sorry. Collar.
A collar, okay.
A new collar with rhinestones on it because it was very pretty.
Uh-huh.
But I found that it wasn't soft enough around her neck.
Sure.
And that it could be a little, and I went, I don't know, but I want her to, put her little paw against that.
Uh-huh.
So I went for a very soft version.
Very good. You know what we have in the prize closet there is we have some of that jewelry. We should send that off, see if she likes it.
Oh, some bling.
Some bling
yes.
that we just got it. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us for this.
I love you saying that. I have enjoyed talking with you good people, and it's always fun to talk to people who have the same interests at heart. And the fact that we all care about the welfare of animals is a good thing. And I enjoy talking to other people who have that at the front of their life mission also.
You're awesome. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And, of course, check out Actors and Others at www.actorsandothers.com. Joanne Worley joining us. Hold on one second, okay?
Okie doke.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Hi, this is Emmy Lou Harris on Animal Radio. Please spay and neuter your pet.
Got an old car? You can donate it and save a life. The United Breast Cancer Foundation needs your help. They want to keep saving lives by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car or truck, running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Call now for free pickup. 800-793-4880. 800-793-4880. That's 800-793-4880.
This is
Animal Radio, baby.
But listen, people were asking me, and they ask me this a lot, about sprucing up their pet's color on their coat. And there's a real easy way. Actually, it's funny because I did it about a week ago, and it's something that's really easy if you do it right. Now, I'm going to tell everyone this right now. If you got a multicolored dog, like a party-colored poodle or something like that, where, Dalmatian is a good example because everyone can picture a Dalmatian. They may not know what a party-colored poodle is. You don't want to try this. It's too difficult to do something like that. But if your dog is a solid color, if it's solid brown, if it's solid black, if it's apricot, if it's blonde, real easy way. The first thing you're going to do is go out and get yourself a small jar of Vaseline. Not scented, just a regular Vaseline is number one.
And KY won't work, just Vaseline.
Well, I got to tell you what, KY will work as long as it's not the stuff, the warming gel. Just the regular stuff, Regular KY actually will work. So now that you threw your little joke in there and it didn't work because it still works. What we're going to do is you're going to go out and you're going to shop and you're going to go into the aisle and you're going to find the Just for Men hair color. Okay? Not the stuff with the beard and the mustache, the hair color. And you're going to first go home and you're going to do a test patch on your dog with it. Now, the problem is doing the test patch with it is once you mix this stuff, it's no good anymore. So just take a couple of drops of each solution that's in it. There's two solutions. There's the activator and there's the color. So put 2 drops of activator, 2 drops of color, mix it together, and put it on a test spot on your dog. Leave it on for 5 minutes. Rinse it off, okay, and I would wait until the next day, see if there's any irritation, if the skin looks pink, if something looks different. If that happens, you don't want to do this. If it doesn't happen, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to figure out a way of how to secure your dog safely in your bathtub or a sink. And I say this because if you don't, I don't want hate mail. I don't want people saying to me that my dog jumped out and stained my carpets and my furniture and everything in the house, because that will happen if your pet is not, and dogs, not cats, this is for dogs.
Okay.
That you want to make sure that they're safe. So I would do a whole test thing first. If you do your little test batch, put your dog in the sink, in the tub, see how they respond to the water, the sound of it, whatever. So you're going to put your dog in. While your dog is, and I'm going to say this twice, dry. While your dog is dry, you are going to put the solution on. The solution, you just mix it together. It comes with a squeeze bottle. Wear gloves. Before you do all that, I skipped a step. Make sure you put a little drop of Vaseline or KY in their eyes. Now, this is going to protect their eyes.
In their eyes?
You can put it in there. It's not going to hurt them. It's, we do this a lot when you use pesticides, when you use medicated shampoo, stuff that may be irritating to the pet's eyes. Now, it's not something that's going to resist it. It's not going to, how could I say, it's not like it's waterproof or chemical proof. It's just going to help resist anything from getting in there. So you want to still be real gentle around the eyes. If something goes in the eyes, wipe it out. And what I would say is, because you got to work fast. If you have a big dog, you need 2 people, because this stuff is going to work real quickly. In 5 minutes, you got to put it on and rinse it off. So you're going to apply it to the dog, apply it to the areas that really need it the most, and it's usually the head, the back, the areas that you really want, the color you want. Leave it on for the recommended time that it says, 5 minutes. If your dog is in a solid black or solid brown and has just, like a hint of maybe other colors in it, leave it on for 3 minutes, okay? Because when you rinse it off, you'll achieve the natural effect that you want. Shampoo it in, rinse it off, shampoo the dog normally, and condition. Condition's an important step in this because it's going to lock everything in place. After you're done, you're going to have a dog that looked like you took 10 years off them. They look great. This is a trick that we use in grooming competitions when you want the dog to stand out amongst others. What we do is we'll do this. Now, we'd usually use a permanent dye because it stands out a little bit more. You don't want to do that at home. It's a little bit dangerous. It's a little bit messy. It's something, if you're not a professional, don't do it. But the Just for Men works unbelievable. You'll have great results. Your dog will look great. And you know what? If you don't want to do it, bring it to your groomer.
Is that Just for Men just the same as like L'Oreal? The stuff that ladies use to dye their hair?
It's very close. The difference is the Just for Men product it's made for men, so it's idiot proof. Where the L'Oreal is probably it's a little bit more permanent. It's a little bit more difficult to work with. So I like using the Just for Men because it is idiot proof, because it just shampoos in and out. And I don't know of any other product that does that. There may be other products on the market that do it, but I've tested the Just for Men on pets, and I've never had a problem with it. I've never had irritation, so that's the one that I'm going to recommend at this point until I know more about some of the other products out there.
Judy had me dye her hair, and you have to do that really fast. I mean,
you've got.
I can't imagine doing a whole dog that way.
Yeah, you only got.
Well, that's why with a
minutes.
dog, you need a couple of hands. A really big dog is a challenge. It's going to be difficult. A small dog, like I have the Karen Terriers and all, whatever, actually medium-sized to small, they're not that hard. Ladybug would be a breeze because it would take just 2 minutes to apply the product and let it sit for a minute or 3, depending on how much color you want. Man,
I love the Just for Men, Joey.
You use that, Alan?
Oh, yeah, I use it on my chest, on my hair, my back, everywhere.
And I'm a Just for Men guy myself.
Oh, and it's great for carpeting, dark-colored carpeting if you have a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Oh, that's gross.
There you go. Joey Villani's tip of the week over at the website at animalradio.com. A little bit of testosterone in the studio today.
Just a little bit too much. Dr. Debbie, get in here.
You're listening to Animal Radio.
Hey, everybody, this is Brett Michaels, and I just want to say, you, right now, want to take... Wait, give me the line again. My brain skipped.
Brett Michaels...
I just had one of my brain hemorrhage brain farts.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
More
I don't want to be responsible for that.
Trust me, it's me. Go ahead.
Animal Radio. Brett Michaels and Animal Radio.
You got it. I knew the Animal Radio. Okay, here we go. Hey, this is Brett Michaels. You're listening to Animal Radio, and take care of your pets. They will rock your world.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service. Better care. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. That's 800-434-5019.
Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring your dream team, veterinarian Dr. Debbie White and groomer Joey Villani. And here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
Lee Day going to be joining us in a few minutes, and she is the pet entertainer. I have no idea what it means. Judy says this is going to be good, so I got to hang for that, right?
If the pets aren't entertained, I think we will be.
So grab your pets. Bring them around the radio because we will be entertaining them with somebody that's actually a sanctioned pet entertainer in just a couple of minutes.
I heard she puts hamburger all over her body, and that's the main act.
Ooh, that I might enjoy that, actually. Stacey Cohn working hard in the newsroom. What's going on, girlfriend?
How adventurous are you with your food? I mean, does frog legs scare you?
Yeah.
Fried. They have chocolate-dipped bugs people eat. There's all kinds of stuff people eat. Would you try a bite of rat bruschetta or rat tenderloin? What about paying a whopping $100 for a multi-course rat dinner? They did in New York. Maybe you wouldn't, but, you know, those New Yorkers, they'll try anything. I'll tell you about it coming up on Animal Radio News.
I can't wait. It made me hungry. Order me some. Call Domino's and see if they have any rat bruschetta.
Rat delivery.
There's more rats in New York than people, so why would you have to go get one?
That's what I'm saying.
But it's a use of a resource. Maybe that's the angle.
That's the angle. There it is.
Let's hit the phones. Beth. Hi, Beth. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Nevada City, California.
Nevada City, but so is it like on the border of California and Nevada?
It's about halfway between Lake Tahoe and Sacramento.
Oh, okay. Sounds like a fun place to live. What's going on? I have Alan Cable right here. I understand you have dog issues.
Well, yes. It seems like. Now, I've only had this dog a couple days, but I recently adopted a 10-month-old mini Aussie from the local rescue group, and I also have a 4-year-old Aussie female. They're both small. The female is 16 pounds, and this 10-month-old male is about 20 pounds. And he is very aggressive around her with anything. If she picks up a toy, he runs over and takes it away from her, and they get into scuffles over this, and I've had to break up a few altercations.
How do you break it up, Beth? What do you do?
I just yell at them, and they stop. I don't let it escalate to the point where they're just absolutely, tearing each other apart. But, when they start, the growling intensifies, and they're, kind of in each other's face. I just say, hey, knock it off, and then they kind of stop. Or I stick my hand down and grab whoever. I haven't actually had to, get any further than that with them. But if I feed him in a crate because he will go after her food. If I give him a chew treat of any kind, why, he's very aggressive. He goes right after hers, even if he has one.
Right. And you said that the dog, the one dog you've had for years, and the other one you just brought home, you've had for 10 months, and the other one you just brought home.
Yes, I haven't had. I've only the 10-month-old. I've only had a couple days. The 4-year-old I've had since she was young.
Okay. So now the 4-year-old, how well trained is that dog? I mean, if you told that dog to go downstay, would she do it?
Probably. Well, she doesn't know a downstate command anymore because
Okay. Right.
But she would back off.
Okay.
I think she's kind of an omega dog.
this is kind of normal. When you bring a new dog home, especially a new dog home, and there's another dog in the house and you're in the house, most of the time, that dog is basically, when a dog has food aggression like that, is saying, hey, I'm in charge. This is my food, get lost. That's what the dog is saying. The dog is saying, I'm the pack leader, I'm the alpha dog. And it's up to you to become the pack leader and the alpha dog. And the easiest way to do that in your situation is to take ownership of the food. Now, when you feed the dog, how do you do it? Do you just put the dog food in a bowl and walk away?
Well, I tried that. It didn't work out too well. So now what I do is the female, the one I've had, I put her food down. I put the male in the crate, and I put the bowl in the crate with him.
That's a good solution. That's a good short-term solution. But you want to eliminate all the aggressive behaviors. And the quickest way, the best way to do that is to be the pack leader, and you're going to have to be patient and persistent. And so what you want to do is you take your other dog and take her out of the room. Take your other dog out of the room at feeding time with the dog you just brought home. Take ownership of the food. Put the dog food in the bowl and just stand there in front of the dog for a couple of seconds. Do not put it down. Does the new dog know the sit command? Does she know how to sit?
Well, sometimes. If I have food in my hand, he does, but he hasn't really had any training. I mean, I think what happened is these people, it's not a cute little puppy anymore, and so they turned it into the rescue group because he really knows nothing. I have him signed up for a basic obedience class, but it's not for a couple weeks.
That's good.
So.
Do you walk the dogs ever? Do you take them for walks? I'm going to tell you what to do in a second, but I'm just curious.
I've only had him like 3 days, so I've walked him one time.
If you have time, start walking them together. Don't let them walk in front of you, though. Make them walk at your side. Get a pinch collar and make sure both dogs have the pinch collar so that you can give corrections. Do you know what a correction is?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so what you're going to do with your new dog is you're going to make that dog work for his food. So when you feed your dog, you're going to put the dog into the dish and just stand there and tell the dog to sit before you put the food down. And then you're going to stay there for a little while with your hand on the dish. When you have your hand on the dish, you own the food. You're going to get the dog used to you being there while the dog eats. And every now and then, keep a couple of treats or a couple of pieces of food in your other hand and throw those treats into the bowl. Does your dog swallow his food? I mean, does he just scarf it down, the new dog, or does he eat it slowly? Put some water in there. Put a toy in there, too, to slow him down a little bit. He's scarfing it down because he thinks, it's a new environment. He might think that he's never going to get fed again. So he's scarfing it down because of that. So you want to take ownership of the food by being there. Keep your hand on the bowl. And then when the dog gets comfortable with you being there, you start giving praise. Just a good dog, and give her a pet every now and then. Always make her do something, though, before you feed her. Hold the food and make her sit before you put the food down. And then every now and then, after about a week or two, take the food away, okay? After you do that for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long it takes, where that dog is very comfortable with you there and is no longer being possessive of the food, you're going to start bringing the other dog around slowly on a leash. And you're going to start by putting the other dog in the down position when you feed your dog. When you feed your dog, you're going to bring the other dog there and put the dog in the down position about 6-7 feet away, or even in the crate, if that's easier for you, or even if you have somebody to help you hold the other dog. And you're going to slowly, over days, move the other dog closer to your dog, the one with the aggression problem, eating. And you're going to see that pretty soon, in a month or two, the dog is going to realize that the other dog is no threat, that you're the pack leader, and become very, very comfortable eating around that other dog. But if she does exhibit aggression, take her food away. That's how you give her a correction. Take her food right away.
Okay. And then I think he's also suffering from a little bit of separation anxiety because he just follows me everywhere. When I let him out the door to go outside, he wants to come right back in again if I don't stand there and be outside with him.
Is that the young dog now?
Yes, and I've had to crate him when I leave the house because I tried having him in the kitchen. He was up on the kitchen table. He was into the recycle bin. I mean... Again, this is all who's the pack leader, okay? Because a dog would never let you leave the house. When a dog is in charge, they don't let you lead. They don't let you leave. So everything you do has to be based on you being the leader, you being in charge. When you leave the house, put the dog in a crate. Do not talk to the dog. Pay no attention to the dog. Just
leave. When you come home, do not talk to the dog. Pay no attention to the dog for about 20 minutes. Then let her out of her crate. Take her outside. Don't talk. Let her go to the bathroom. Good dog when she goes to the bathroom. Be very calm. Make it very uneventful, your comings and goings.
Okay, that, hopefully we can work this out because he's a sweet little guy. I mean, I'd like to be able to keep him, but...
you can. You just have to remember... You can keep him. You just have to remember you have to be in charge. You have to be the pack leader. Use positive reinforcement and corrections. When the dog is doing what you want, you give positive reinforcement and affection, which means if the dog is laying there calm, that's the time to say good dog and give the dog a pet. When the dog is wound up acting like a fool, you give a correction.
Okay.
Snap her out of it. Get her mind on something else.
Okay.
And start walking them together regularly so that they understand you're the pack leader and they're part of a pack.
I see. Okay. And let neither one of them get in front of me.
Absolutely not. They
one
walk
on either side then?
Right. One on either side or behind you is fine, never in front of you.
I see.
Never let them enter the house before you either.
Oh,
you go in first.
Okay.
Same with your husband. Go in first. Make sure you are always going in first. Beth, thank you so much for your call today.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Hi, this is Paul Reiser, and you're listening to Animal Radio. And every minute you're here, you're not harming someone else. I don't know what that means. If it's usable, use it. Otherwise, cut it and get out.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too.
Cleaning out the fish tank is a pretty bad job anyway, but it was a lot worse for veterinarian Kevin Friels. While doing some routine maintenance on his saltwater tank, Friels was attacked by Lily the lionfish, who jabbed him with 6 of her venomous spines. He started having seizures and called his girlfriend, who said she only heard screaming on her end of the line. She quickly called 911, and it took 8 paramedics to hold Friels on the stretcher. Doctors say he could have died in an hour because Lily's venom was paralyzing his heart. Although Friels will improve in a couple weeks, he's not taking any chances. He's selling Lily the lionfish, but she'll come with a stern warning. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio. Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
This is Glenn Close on Animal Radio, urging you to spay or neuter your pet.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you use insulin or have had hypoglycemic events, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. That's 800-434-5019.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Here's Hal and Judy.
Hey, Jody.
Oh, hi.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for taking my call.
What's going on?
Well, I have a 2-year-old cat which has pretty much had the house to herself with everything. She's an indoor cat. And we just recently got 2 kittens, and now she has not gone, doesn't use her litter box, and she chews the hair on the back of her neck, well, until it bleeds. It's really kind of raw, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should give up the kittens or if there's something else I could try.
How long have the kittens been in the home?
Let's see. They have been here at least 2 months.
2 months? Okay.
Yeah.
And then how do they relate? Do they interact at all with her?
One of them doesn't, and the other one actually goes and plays a little bit with her, kind of chases her around and stuff like that. And there's plenty of toys, and there's a cat tree. And
Okay. And you said she's chewing her fur out, and she's not using the box. Is that correct?
Yes. She used to use the litter box before, and she wasn't, she was fine before. And now, all of a sudden, now she doesn't want to use her litter box.
And is that for both peeing and the pooping jobs, or one or the other?
Yeah.
For both.
Okay.
And then tell me about when you got these kittens, did you just kind of have them in the same home? Were they separated at all?
No, they were the same. They were cousins.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many litter boxes we got in this house?
3.
3 litter boxes. Okay. And as far as in anything else with your kitty cat that I need to know about, any other health problems along the way, anything else skin related before your other kittens came into the home?
Well, whenever there's something stresses her out, she does tend to pull her fur out. And so, so we changed the cat food because they said she's allergic to corn. So I changed it, and she seemed to be fine. And she got over that problem.
And now it's worse now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and that's kind of what I was suspecting as you described it. So there are some cats that can have a psychogenic alopecia. Basically, they overgroom themselves out of their own anxiety. That's not generally a case where food controls it. So that's where there's probably some degree of either food allergy or other types of allergies for your kitty that we can medically control. So I'd want to make sure that you get that tackled and maybe get her checked out with a vet to make sure we're on the right road physically with her health. Psychologically, if we add new kittens or new cats to the home, the best way to do that is to gradually introduce a new cat or cats into the home. So if I could rewind your situation, my recommendations at the get-go would have been to keep your kitty to have free run of her house and then add these kittens into a separate room where they can kind of start to get used to the smell of your cat under the door. Kind of just getting used to the sights, the sounds, without really having a lot of physical stress, physical altercations, or have to compete for resources like the litter box, the food, or for your affection. That would be ideal. And you can still do that. We can take a step back, separate the kittens, give her the space that she needs to kind of reset and to calm herself. And I do that for at least a week, really to kind of let her reset. And in that time, we want to kind of return to what we can do to motivate her to like these cats in the presence of the cat. So I'd add in a scent hormone, a pheromone, like feel away. Add that in by a diffuser in the home. I would make sure we start feeding the cats on a certain time schedule. And we want to feed them on opposing sides of the separation. So if it's a door or if it's a screen door, what have you, we want the food not to always be available, but to be available only when she is around these other cats, and that is her reward for just tolerating the mere presence of those kittens. It's really kind of the way to look at it. And we want to make sure that she learns that all good things happen when these kittens are around, and that kind of works psychologically to make her feel more comfort, less anxiety with the presence of these babies. And then we work up to kind of gradually working them back into the environment, into the home. And then sometimes even for kittens, if these guys are little and we've got an adult in the home, I will put a collar and bell on the kittens because that kind of gives the adult cat a little fair warning that the little whippersnappers are coming around, and then she can retreat, she can go elsewhere, and if she doesn't feel like intervening and physically meeting up with the kitten, then she can do her own thing and kind of retreat, if you will. But I think those are some of the things. And then environmentally, you mentioned 3 litter pans. I love that. I want to make sure those litter pans are spread across the house, that we don't have covers on them.
Yeah,
different.
Okay, so one in one room and one in another, and
exactly, yeah. So if you put all 3 litter pans in one room, it can be a territorial thing. So if it's more trouble to walk down this hallway that I'm going to get ambushed by this kitten, I may not want to go to that litter pan. So we want to make sure they're strategically in different areas. So if you have a 2-story home, you want to have some upstairs and downstairs. You can't really take that away from them. They got to have that outlet. And then make sure that the litter pans are uncovered. Make sure that we've got plenty of perching sites. So you have a cat tree. I'd also look for other ways that we can give her some special places to get away, whether they're little cat hammocks for the windows or another tree or heck, some nice big boxes that you can let her kind of climb and get into. Those are good for physical and mental security. It kind of gives them a place to hide. So
now, what about a place outside, like making an outdoor place where she can't actually get outside, but it's outside?
That can be great environmentally as well, so she can have something else to focus on. Now, it could be a position where that might be a little sensory overload especially if you have other kitties outdoors in the area. If you don't, then it might be fun for her to watch the birds, to have things to watch. But if you have a lot of stray cats or cats in the neighborhood, that could actually amp up her anxiety more.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, hopefully that can help. And, if she is a excessive groomer and she has a certain degree of anxiety, there are some of these kitties that I do put on behavior medications, and it can really help them cope. But by itself, medication will fail. So you really have to do these other physical and environmental changes as well. Okay. All right. Well, hope that's of some help for you.
We appreciate your call. Good luck with those little fur balls.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
I would love to go on vacation, but I don't want to leave our Charlie behind.
I agree. I heard that the magazine Fido Friendly lists places where you can stay with your pet. They also offer reviews so you have an idea about pet policy to include any restrictions, fees, and what pet amenities to expect.
That's, dare I say, awesome. What are we waiting for?
I'm way ahead of you. I just logged on to FidoFriendly.com and found a 4-star resort. Hilton Santa Fe Resort and Spa at Buffalo Thunder in New Mexico.
Charlie agrees. When do we leave?
As soon as you can pack your bags. It's off to adventure with Charlie, thanks to Fido Friendly Magazine. To find your next family adventure that includes your furry family friend, log on to FidoFriendly.com.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Stacey Cohen for Animal Radio. There's a new study at Washington State University that's looking at how shelter dogs can help teens that are struggling with drug and alcohol dependency. Lindsay Ellsworth, she's a doctoral candidate in animal sciences at WSU, said, I was surprised during the trial period how calm the boys were around the dogs and how outbursts and hyperactivity diminished. The researchers are hoping the success of the program can be implemented in other teen behavioral therapy programs across the country and be a win-win for teens and shelter dogs alike. Any sort of activity that provides an opportunity for shelter dogs to socialize with humans and other dogs outside of the kennel environment is great. And she said that's the value that these shelters see in these dog interactivities, too.
Hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name?
An extinct lizard that lived 40 million years ago has been named for the late lead singer of the Doors. Scientists named the 6-foot-long lizard Barbatrex morrisoni. Jim Morrison referred to himself as the Lizard King, and scientists decided to pin his name on a creature that was much bigger than other reptiles. In other words, a Lizard King. They say it was the biggest plant-eating lizard that ever lived. Jim Morrison died in 1971 at the age of 27. Well, Chanel designer Karl Lagerfeld says that he'd marry his cat if it was legal. Lagerfeld recently announced he's fallen in love with his pampered feline, Choupette. You know, he kind of reminds me of Pee Wee Herman. Remember, he used to say, if you love it so much, marry it.
I love fruit salad. Then why don't you marry it? All right, then. I will.
In the past, he's been known to buy her an iPad and a silken pillow to sleep on. However, this is the first time he said he would even wed the white pedigree kitty. In an interview on CNN, he said he'd never thought he'd fall in love like this with a cat. I'm Stacey Cohen. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Here's Hal and Judy.
We have on the phone with us Lee Day, and she is the celebrity pet hairstylist and pet entertainer to the stars. Lee, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Welcome. Thank you. I'm doing great. It's pretty hot out here in New Jersey and New York.
Hot out there in Jersey.
Hot out here in Jersey, darling.
So now tell us, what is it you do exactly?
Well, I am a pet entertainer.
A pet entertainer? Do you mean you entertain pets during the day?
And all kinds of animals, great and small, and I save their lives. And I just wanted you to know that it's very hot out here, and people should keep their pets if they're in New York or any hot area in the AC, because don't forget, if they're in a car, that car will heat up in a matter of seconds, and it'll be like an oven. And the dogs do not have sweat glands. And 2 police dogs just passed away. I'm sure that the police were very upset about what happened, and they died from being asphyxiated in the car from the heat.
You brought me down, Lee.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring you down, but I want you to realize that. But I also have something very exciting, and that's I have bar mitzvahs.
You have bar mitzvahs?
I do pet dating services.
Dating?
And I entertain the animals. I'm like the Chuck Woolery of dating.
So now, how do you entertain the animals? Because I have like one dog that just is bored.
Bored? How can it be bored?
It looks at me and goes, "Entertain me," and I'm like, "What? What do you want? I throw your toys all day. I walk you. You know what?"
It's put hamburger. Songs to the animals. I'm a hairstylist, like you know, but I do not go into grooming shops. I don't like the way they have to be caged into the cages. Here I come into your home and I sing to your pet and entertain it. It gets a time out, and you're by your pet's side. It's wonderful.
Well,
I have so many clients around the country. It's unbelievable.
I got to ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How come you don't like pets caged in a grooming salon? Because that's what keeps them safe.
Because I don't like that they are caged and then they put the dryers and they hook them onto the grooming cages. And I think that's horrible. Do you know how many pets have died having that done?
I definitely know that, but that's something that's not a grooming practice anymore.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, it is.
Okay, you know what? You guys are all bringing me down once again. Okay, I'm
going to bring you down. But let's talk about something fun.
Yeah, well, you know what? I want to hear you sing, and in fact, I want to. Everybody that's listening now, I want you to grab your pet.
Okay, you know that
hold on a second.
I'm the creator of Advantage. Do you know that I created the words? I got no bugs on me. I got no bugs on me. There may be bugs on all them mugs, but there ain't no bugs on me.
Yeah, see, that's more like it. Look at Ladybug.
Yeah. Have a lick on the face, maybe. Nice, wet, and sloppy. But biscuits are your dog's best friend.
That is, you should see Ladybug, the studio stunt dog. She's very excited right now. She likes what you're doing.
And how about, please leash me for a walk, 'cause I can't hold it anymore. Or trip around the block. Ow! I can't wait to get out that door.
I love it. Oh, yes.
I think I see an audition on America's...
It's a lot of fun. And I'm far from a downer. It's always up, because the animals are the greatest things in the world, and they love you more than anything else in the world, and they're the greatest thing. And people have to, you know. I just had a shirt made for neutering in Spain, and it's great. And you know, and I can't even explain how great it is, because people have to spay and neuter the pet. Do you realize that one cat can produce 2,000 kittens a year?
Yeah, wow. That's amazing. So you do these bar mitzvahs?
Bark mitzvahs.
Bark mitzvahs?
I'm the creator of the bark mitzvah.
You're the creator of that?
In 1984.
Wow. So now what happens at a bark mitzvah?
A bark mitzvah, you get, and it's not, supposed to be sacrilegious or anything like that. I say the prayer, the Jewish prayer. The dog gets a pen and he gets presents. I did a bark mitzvah for Joan Rivers, and her dog Spike was so happy. I mean, he got a lot of attention, a lot of love, and that's all it's about. It's not, it's not about the manhood or anything like that. It's just a great party, and the dog is Jewish.
Now,
they got Jewish owners.
Do you have to wait till the dog is 13 years old? How does that work?
It would be 2 years old in human life, so it would be 13. So at 2 years old, you get a bark mitzvah.
Okay, I see how that works.
I just want to know something. On a Jewish dog, they don't have to do a circumcision now, do they? Before the bark mitzvah?
No. When I groom the dog, I just go boom, bam, boom.
Bada boom. Just like that.
So now you don't limit yourself to just cats and dogs. You also taken two lobsters out on a dating service?
Like I said, I have a romantic dating service, the only service in the world. Nobody else does this.
What'd you do with two lobsters?
Wow.
They actually went out for Red Lobster. I really did. I took them out, and then I took out 2 penguins from SeaWorld, and I married them with a wedding certificate. I married Sally Jesse Raphael's horses.
You didn't marry actually yourself. You actually married the animals.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get married to the animals.
Yeah, I get confused.
No.
Okay.
I'm the preacher. I'm the rabbi.
Okay. Now I see you chaperone romantic dates. What goes on these dates that makes them romantic?
I take them on romantic dates. That's why I said I'm the Chuck Woolery.
Now, what's a romantic date for a lobster? What do they enjoy? Taking the rubber bands off the claws and letting them have at it? What goes on there?
Oh, my God. Just like pulling their little claws together and nosing together. That's the romance.
There you go.
Well, it sounds wonderful. Now, how can somebody get in touch with you just in case they want you to like perform a bar mitzvah or take their dogs out for a date or something like that? Just entertain their pets.
If they would like to do a bar mitzvah, what they have to do is they can go to my website, LeeDayPetEntertainer.com, or they can follow me on Twitter under Doogie Day. Doogie Day was my singing partner.
Well, I think in the 30 years that I've been doing this, has it been 30 years? 40 years? 50 years, I have not at all once met a pet entertainer. So this is cool to finally meet you. Lee Day, thanks for spending time with us today.
I thank you so much, and I thank you all for caring for the animals.
Vinnie Penn, your resident party animal on Animal Radio. I just want to give a tip out there to those of you who are going through the unfortunate task of trying to recover a lost animal, a dog or a cat. I saw a flyer in my neighborhood recently. I always check out the flyers, as everyone should, and a flyer is a great way to go. But some people who are missing a pet really have the wrong idea when it comes as to what to put to the flyer. This flyer said something like, please return Poochie to our house. We miss him so much, and Poochie loves watching Survivor with us every Thursday night. Well, am I supposed to go home and dress up like Jeff Probst now and walk up and down the street and hope that Poochie sees me? How is our knowing what Poochie's favorite television show is going to help us find your dog? Be a little smarter when it comes to the flyers, people. Vinnie Penn, Party Animal, Animal Radio.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Find us at animalradio.com. Log on, learn more.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At U.S. Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With U.S. Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
U.S. Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With U.S. Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose U.S. Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. U.S. Med. Better service. Better care. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. That's 800-434-5019.
Hey, this is Big Ant from Rescue Inc. Remember, spay and neuter your animal, and abusers are losers. Now back to Animal Radio.
Oh, what did he say? He said, we're all across the USA, the most listened to pet show today. Animal Radio, we're everywhere you go. Animal Radio. Animal Radio.
And we go to Sue. Hi, Sue. How are you doing?
Okay. How about yourself?
Splendid. Ooh, what can we do for you? I have Dr. Debbie right here.
My dog was diagnosed this past spring with a mast cell tumor, which was removed on April 10th, and the vet was able to get clean margins all the way around.
Okay,
and
great.
she put her on a high dosage of Benadryl for 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I had investigated online, and there was some pill that, or I guess it was a form of chemotherapy, which I didn't want to do because my dog is happy, pretty much healthy, active for a 9-year-old border collie. But I was wondering if there was anything else I can do besides just watching to see if this comes back.
Okay.
In the way of nutrients, I mix broccoli in with their food, and they do get supplements along with a high-quality food.
Now, you said this was a stage 2 mast cell tumor. What location was it?
the upper part of her leg where it attaches to kind of the body on the inside of the right front leg.
Okay. All righty. So I guess the bottom line when we talk about mast cell tumors, the first thing is that, for those that don't know, mast cells are inflammatory cells that are present in dogs' tissues. And when we develop a tumorous growth of these, they can be very unpredictable. And there's different ways we classify mast cell tumors. So grade 1 is the best one to have. It's the most benign. So once you remove it, and it's completely removed, usually in a good position. Grade 3s are by far more serious. They can metastasize in about 25% of the cases, may require chemotherapy, radiation therapy, follow-up surgeries, all of that. So a grade 2 falls smack dab in the middle, and that's the problem. We don't know, and we can't predict how each individual pet's tumor is going to necessarily behave. So there are some things that we look at as far as one thing to ask your veterinarian is things like the mitotic index, which tells us a little bit about the cells and how they were described on the biopsy report. So if I have a mast cell tumor that has...
they didn't look like they were active. I don't think she had a whole lot of concern, but this is my best buddy here, and I just want to make sure that, you know, I continue doing the best I can for her on that. And I'm following my vet's instructions, and I'm just keeping an eye on her, but I don't know what these tumors look like when they first start.
Okay.
And,
well, I'm going to go back to the grade 2s and how sometimes this can be really confusing because there isn't an absolute answer on what we need to do to prevent these. There's not always a lot of clear answers on this. So a lot of people, we just kind of throw out all the options of whether we pursue chemotherapy. The drug you may have been thinking about or you read about was one called Palladia, which is a type of inhibitor for mast cell tumors to help with the metastasis that they can have or with the more aggressive forms of it. So there's a lot of things in our arsenal. We don't always pull them out for a grade 2 because if it's a low mitotic index and we feel comfortable about where it was located and how well it was removed, we may just sit back and say monitoring, checking lymph nodes and regular vet checks may be the best way to go there. So you did ask about what other things like nutrition and supplements and so forth. And, you know, this is a tough area because there's not a lot of absolute studies. There are some general recommendations that some folks that dabble in holistic veterinary medicine will advise. And those, I'll be honest, I don't particularly use a lot of the alternative therapies, but I do know that the flavonoids, the different plant extracts, the tea extracts, those type of things are used, as well as things like vitamin C, high doses of fatty acids, and even things like the turmeric, the spice. There's an extract that they'll use for in the hopes of decreasing inflammation related to mast cell tumors and hopefully to help prevent their progression. But I'll be honest, you know, it's one of those things that will it help? Maybe, but how are we going to prove that? I don't know. So you might check with your veterinarian if they have an herbalist or a holistic veterinarian. If you want to dabble into that, you know, I'd say that we need a little bit more direction in that avenue. But for me, I can tell you one of my babies had a mast cell tumor, and that's the scariest thing is you have to watch and you have to be very vigilant. What we watch for is really any skin growth is suspect. Mast cell tumors are the great impersonators. They can look like a mole, but there are many dogs that have mast cell tumors that are undiagnosed because the pet parent says, oh, he's had it for years. It's nothing. It hasn't grown a lot. And that is the great mystery with the mast cell tumors, why some of them are so quiet and sit there, and then some can be very aggressive. So really, for me, I'd say for you, I would recommend any skin lump or bump. The best thing is to have a needle biopsy, a quick inpatient test done, and they can look at that and see if there's any suspect of mast cell tumor and jump on that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck with that, Sue. We appreciate your call today. Well, I guess that's all the time we have for today's show. I want to thank Anne Worley, who is very much alive, for joining us today, as well as, and I promise I won't ask that anymore if our guests are alive.
Thank you.
I want to thank Lee Day, who's certainly was entertaining. Ladybug, the studio stunt dog, was very entertained by Lee Day.
She was.
Visit us over at the Facebook page at Animal Radio, or email us the old-fashioned way at yourvoice@animalradio.com, or tweet us at Animal Radio. Radio. Don't forget to visit Dr. Debbie's Facebook page, too, and go like that. She has a brand new book out. It's an ebook. Is that correct?
It's an ebook, yes. It's by 101 Publishing. It's called Yorkshire Terriers, How to Be Your Dog's Best Friend.
Ooh.
So check it out.
We'll see you next week right here for more Animal Radio. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is Animal Radio Network.